The Middle East and North Africa is one of the most homophobic regions in the world. Most of the MENA countries do not recognize the existence and the rights of the LGBT group and criminalize same-sex acts, whether they apply Sharia law or whether their criminal law draws from European codes inherited during the colonial period. The law does not criminalize sexual orientation as such, except for Algeria, Yemen, the UAE, and Iran, where the penal codes explicitly refer to homosexuality and lesbianism. Rather, the legislation condemns sexual behaviors such as sodomy, acts against nature, debauchery, and obscene acts. For example, in 2014, 8 Egyptian men were arrested and sentenced to 3 years in prison under charge of debauchery for having posted this video, allegedly showing a same-sex wedding. Penalties differ from country to country and range from a minimum of 3 up to 7 years in prison. In Sudan, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, and Iran, the punishment is death. In the Emirates, there's death sentence for same-sex relations as well, but there are no known cases where the penalty has been implemented. Only in a few countries, such as Jordan, Iraq, and Turkey, the penal code does not criminalize homosexuality. But LGBT people's rights are not acknowledged, and discrimination is widespread. The only notable exception in the Middle East is Israel, where the law recognizes same-sex marriage and adoption for same-sex couples. In 2011, the UN Human Rights Council passed Resolution 1719 on human rights, sexual orientation, and gender identity. For the first time, the report expressed concern about violence toward LGBT people and commissioned a first-ever UN study entirely focused on LGBT issues. But all countries of the Middle East, which were members of the Human Rights Council at that time, opposed to the resolution. The reasons for such refusal are both religious and political. For the religious clergy, homosexuality is incompatible with the main principles of religion, mainly Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. While the political discourse in most of the countries of the Middle East frames homosexuality as a concept imported from the West that can endanger the accepted norms of their local, more traditional societies. Only in less authoritarian countries, where there is some space for civil society to exist, we can see the gradual emergence of NGOs which actively strive for the recognition of the rights of the LGBT people and actively fight against their social discrimination. For example, Kif Kif in Morocco, Ashams in Tunisia, and Helem in Lebanon. In the last 2 years in Tunisia, a public debate has been taking place on reforming legislation regarding same-sex relations. Lawmakers have been pushing for a repeal of Article 230, which criminalizes same-sex relations, and the National Council of the Medical Order issued a statement in April 2017, calling for medical practitioners to stop practicing forced anal and genital examinations. In authoritarian countries, the reform of the legal framework toward a decriminalization of homosexuality seems not to be in the political agenda. There, the very existence of an LGBT community is yet to be recognized.